How you doing, guys? Welcome. Aaron on the right, as you can see here, has got an incredible result within the program. He plays step 7 football. He also plays vets football as well. So he's one of our older players within the program. He's got a full-time job. He's got kids. He's got family. He's got a kind of schedule really where football is something that has to fit in around the other commitments of life. Rather than it being the other way around. When he came to us, he was exhausted. Like, he was constantly injured. He had patella problems. His knees were giving him problems that wouldn't shift no matter what he tried. It would not go away. His energy, both on and off the pitch, wasn't great. He was like running on empty because of his busy work schedule, because he had kids. He had a lot on his plate. And Aaron's not a lazy guy. He's a very, very driven individual. He cares about his football, but he just didn't have any structure in place. He wasn't fueling himself the right way. And the training approach that he had was making his injury worse, to be honest with you. And it was without him really knowing it. So fast forward to today, he's lasting full 90 minutes. As you can see, he's a lot leaner as well. And we've done this without being overly strict on counting calories. His patella problems have gone. His energy, both on and off the pitch, is completely different. And he's performing at probably the best level he's performed at in years. And those are his words, not mine. I'm going to show you what Aaron's got to say in a short while. But the key thing to take is he's had the same life commitments. He's had the same busy schedule, but he's had a different system in place. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we've done that and why everything he tried before kept failing him. And it could be you watching this right now. You could have a very similar system in place which is failing you, and that's the reason for creating this video, is to help you to understand how to overcome it. If you're a player who's trying to hold football together around a life that doesn't really stop, this is 100% for you. So where was Arran at? Well, I just want you to listen into what Aaron's got to say in terms of what he was feeling before he joined the program.
I was suffering with pretty bad patella tendonitis in my knee. As a result of that, I was feeling very unfit, low energy as a result of the injury. Also struggling to structure any workouts around family, work, generally having such a busy schedule. I was really struggling with that.
So as you can see, he had a very, very busy schedule, but he had serious knee pain, and the injury was the biggest thing. The patella problems were the biggest thing. It was constant, and he'd try and manage it, he'd try and calm it down, and then it'd flare up again. And he'd been dealing with it for a very, very long time, and just accepted that this was like a part of playing at his age and at his level. But what nobody had told him was that the injury wasn't just a knee problem, it was an inflammation problem. And inflammation does not just come from overtraining. It comes from what you eat. It comes from how you fuel. It comes from what your diet is doing to your body on a cellular level. He had no idea. And then there was the training itself. He was training when he could, which is what a lot of players with his schedule tend to do. Like just when life allows you to train, or like when the kids are sorted, or when work doesn't run over. But there was no real structure around all of this. There was no real plan. He was just doing what really just felt like enough. And in terms of his energy, because he didn't have a structure in place, he was running on empty. And by the end of most of the weeks that he would train, not just on the pitch, but at home too, he was just tired, where everything felt harder than it probably should. And the result of all of this, over time, it built up. And Arran is a player who loves football. He would show up every single week, but he would never quite feel himself when he was out on the pitch. And it was a result of all of these things kind of weighing him down and bringing him down. And this could be you too. Like if you're a player watching this right now, you might have a really, really busy life. You might be doing what you can, but something might feel a little bit off. It could be that knee. It could be that little niggle that you can't get rid of. It could be your energy. It could be the feeling that you're not getting back to what you're actually putting in. And that comes down to having a specific structure in place and actually understanding that structure suits and benefits you as an individual. You can't have a generic structure to try and fix a specific problem. You need a specific structure to fix a specific problem. So what do we change? What do we do with Arran to get him back on the pitch, to get him leaner, to get him pain-free? We did 3 main things. The first thing was the minimum viable framework. So Arran can't get in the gym 5 days a week. Okay, he can't do it because his schedule doesn't allow. So we stopped pretending that, yeah, you're going to go and train 5 days a week. Instead, what we implemented was what we call the minimum viable framework, built around what he can actually do. That means it's never going to have a perfect week, because that doesn't exist. But every week he's going to tick off 3 main things. And he ticked off full body training sessions, so strength and power. He ticked off a speed session, and he ticked off his conditioning work. That was it. Every single one of those sessions had a purpose, and there was a place for it throughout the week around his football training, built around his Saturday games. No random training, no excess volume, no unnecessary fatigue, just exactly what he needed at the seasonal phase, whether it was in season, off season, pre-season. And when he had a chaotic week with his work, every single one of those sessions that we had in place was flexible. So if he had school runs, if he had late finishes with work, if he had to travel for work, we have kind of a stripped down version that keeps the engine ticking instead of falling off completely. A structure that actually fits his life when life throws up shit. So that was number one, the minimum viable framework. Number two was the high-low approach. Most players are training in what I call the gray zone, and that means they're doing like medium effort, medium intensity, week after week. They're just going through the motions. They think they're working hard, but they're not going hard enough to create the adaptation to develop strength, speed, or power, but they're not going easy enough to actually recover either. So they're in this gray zone. And within that gray zone, it's a dangerous place to be because you don't actually make the progress you want to make, but you also don't recover from the training either. You're just adding fatigue on top of fatigue. So what we did is we split Arran's week into high days and low days. Hard days, which were genuinely hard on the high days, and then easy days, the low days were very, very easy. The high days were focused on maximum intent, quality output, a lot of intensity. Speed work, lower body work fell majority of those on the high days. And then on the easy days, it was movement, it was recovery based, nothing that accumulated fatigue. It allowed him to recover from the stimulus that he'd already implemented within those hard days. Now, this did two things. Number one, it made him faster and more explosive because he was training on the high days when he was fresh off the back of those low days. He'd go and have his recovery day and then he'd go into a high stimulus day. Number two, it gave his body and more importantly, it gave his knee the recovery window that he had never had before so that he could actually get stronger within the tendon. And it was chronic overload prior to joining the program that was keeping his patella inflamed. So the high-low approach, it took that pressure off. So that was number two. We followed the high-low approach. And number three was a lot of the stuff we did away from the gym. We helped Arran, and it's something we're still working on as we speak to this day, to become a more fat-adapted athlete and help him to understand the impact of insulin on his body, help him to manage insulin. And this is one that surprised Arran the most. We didn't put him on a specific calorie-counted diet. We didn't give him a specific meal plan to follow to the gram. We educated him on what his body was actually doing with the food he was eating, and specifically how insulin and carbohydrate intake was affecting his lean muscle goals, how it was affecting his energy levels, how it was leading to more inflammation in the body. And when Arran understood the mechanism of this, and it wasn't just about eating less carbs, by the way, but more about why you should reduce the carbohydrate intake and what it was doing to his body based on the type of carbohydrates he was eating, his food choices changed naturally. And it wasn't through restriction, it was through understanding. And the result of that, as you can see, leaner body composition without the stress of tracking all the time. He's got more stable energy through the day and through games. And he had a significant drop in the inflammation that had been driving his knee problems for years. So you got the same player with a completely different system, both with his training and with his nutrition. Here's what Arran had to say in terms of becoming injury-free.
Probably just to follow gives me a lot more. My goal to be injury-free has been achieved, and I've got a clear plan to make sure that I stay that way. A lot more confident with the structure of my workouts. I know that there's a clear plan around the workouts, and I don't really have to think about getting into the gym because the work's already there. Probably just to follow gives me a lot more time to carry on with all my work and family life without having to worry about planning anything in the gym, because all that work's done through Cayman, which is a massive.
Brilliant. So when he first messaged me, he was exhausted. He was constantly injured. He was training without direction, and he was running on the wrong fuel. He was running on empty. And now you can see he's absolutely over the moon with his result, but he's lasting full 90 minutes. His patella problems are gone. He's leaner without dieting. His energy is more consistent, both at work, at home, on the pitch, and he's performing at a level that matches how much he really cares about the game. And it's all because he's got a different system in place. He's got the same busy life. He's got the same family. He's got the same job. Now, the thing that gets me about Arran's story is, and he actually mentions this, is the injury wasn't necessarily just a knee problem. It was a whole body problem. It was a system problem. The inflammation, the diet, the training load, the lack of recovery, everything's connected. And what he tried doing in the past was treating the knee in isolation, which was never going to work, because when we started to treat the whole picture, everything changed. And you have to look at all the different pieces of the puzzle that come together when you do have a niggle, when you do have pain, or when things aren't quite adding up for you. You have to look at those different pieces and elements of the puzzle. You have to look at the bigger picture. And that's what this is all about. It's not just about getting a player through 90 minutes. It's getting a player to feel like themselves again on a Saturday, but also at home, but also at work, across the whole week. And Arran has that now. He's got a system that fits his life and a result that he can take away, and it puts him in a better position on the pitch, but also off the pitch as well. And I think that's really, really important. Arran mentioned this in terms of the plan and how it worked for him. I just want you guys to listen in.
What I'd say to anybody sitting on the fence is just have a call with Gaming. I've done my chat with Gaming, worked with him in the past, and I've stuck with the work this year. Similar lifestyle with regards to our family structures, and communicated my issues that I've had with regards to structuring my workouts and injuries, and the conversations were great, and we've stuck to a plan and it's worked well. So anybody sitting on the fence, I'll say take that first step and have that conversation and see where you sit.
So if Arran's story sounds like yours, you've got a busy life, you maybe got a nagging injury, you may be training without any direction, maybe you're not quite feeling yourself on the pitch, I want you to do one thing. Yes, you can message me and we can have a conversation, but somewhere around this video, there's going to be something we call the unbenchable profile. It's a 10-question quiz. It takes 2 minutes and you get a score out of 40 and you get a specific profile, whether you're in starting 11 shape, whether you're a squad player, whether you're a bench warmer. And more importantly, you find out exactly where your game is breaking down and where to focus first. It's free, it's specific to you, and it's the first step to building a system that actually fits your life. So the link is going to be somewhere around this video, maybe in the description below or above, or wherever you're watching this, on whatever platform you're watching this. Go and click on it, take the quiz. It takes 2 minutes. And if after looking at your results, you think this is what I need help fixing, you know where to find me. You can message me on Instagram at coach_Cayman. You can comment somewhere around this video. But if you don't do anything, nothing changes. You'll have the same problems, that same feeling on a Saturday. And it's not because you're too old. It's not because you're too busy. You just don't have the right system in place yet. So the link is somewhere around this video. 2 minutes, go find it and find out where you actually stand and where you need to focus your energies over the coming weeks.